town.
You can't have my booty.
Oh, yeah, I can.
The booty is mine. It belongs to me. You cannot take my booty. The booty is mine.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's the Nightwing at Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video here today, talking about the LCS 2020 Summer Split Week 8 thoughts and opinions. We actually had some pretty big shakeups in the standings this week. Cloud9 actually had their first 0-2 week since what? Summer 2018, because I know on Twitter they were always memeing that we never go 0-2, but they've actually went 0-2 for the first time in 2 years, which is actually pretty incredible, not gonna lie. So before I talk about FlyQuest, C9, TSM, and Team Liquid, Golden Guardians actually had a pretty good week so far. They took down Cloud9 and they took down CLG. The Cloud9 game was pretty close, actually. The CLG game was pretty much any game that goes against CLG is, well, ultimately easy. Team Liquid did have an easy week. They did beat Dignitas and they did take down CLG. TSM took down Cloud9, but they also took down EG. The game against Cloud9 was decently close in the early game, but then later on, TSM's team fighting and superior draft also contributed to their win. Then you also had FlyQuest, which is now kind of, I guess, coming back to form. They had a mid-season slump. They went 2-0 this week. They took down Evil Geniuses, and they took down 100 Thieves. This game, where FlyQuest played up against 100 Thieves, was actually atrocious. It was so bad. This was actually just pitiful gameplay from 100 Thieves. You even had, like, the 100 Thieves is like staff and even Papa Smithy tweeting that was just unacceptable. Yeah, this was one of the most unacceptable games I have ever seen. Like, did they just wake up, not get any coffee, and play as badly as they did? Cause that shit stunk. Oh my god. Like, people always say there's pretty bad games in the LCS. No, watch this game for week 8 of the 2020 LCS Summer Split for FlyQuest versus the 100 Thieves. This shit is just damn near garbage. Now, what was really weird is that we're looking at Team Liquid taking the first place spot in North America right now, but you also have Team Liquid, which is in that second place spot, and then Cloud9, which is pretty much in the third place spot. I'm not too sold that they're worse than these other teams, but to be fair, they did just lose to Golden Guardians. But let's talk about Cloud9 for a moment. So, Cloud9 is now having a slump. You know, I wasn't really worried about the first, like, 2 losses because, you know, you can already tell they were experimenting. Some of those drafts were, like, really wonky. But I'll give 2 of those losses to experimenting. Other than that, you know, they've just been playing bad. You know, I'm not, as I have said in this channel over and over and over and over and over again, I am not a fanboy. I do not just fanboy over teams. I love G2 and I love Cloud9, right? But I do not just fanboy over the teams. If they are playing bad, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to keep it just completely honest with you. You know, I'm honest about all these other teams. Cloud9 and G2 do not get any special treatment here. I was very, very critical of G2, but I also had to be, you know, wary of the situation that G2 had went through, but they were also playing pretty bad. Now, with Cloud9, I don't know what's really going on. It's not like in their losses they're getting stomped, though. They got stomped in, like, one of the losses, actually. It was the 100 Thieves game. In the EG game, they were in it. The TO game, they actually should have won. They were playing really well in that game. The TSM game, they weren't getting smashed in. And even in the Golden Guardians game, they weren't even getting smashed. It's just a lot of in-game macro decisions, which I'll get to when I get into some of these games. Specifically, this Golden Guardians game, where Blabber, I don't know what the fuck this guy was thinking, but holy shit, that made me mad. Alright, so other teams, from what I'm looking at right now, EG's experiment with Huni and Golden Glue, I don't really understand it too much. I know why people said they might need it, because it's just a different playstyle for the team, and I think they just probably don't want to admit they have a hard-on for Huni, and they just wanted to play Huni over Kumo. They were looking probably for any excuse to play Huni over Kumo. Let's be honest here. So, looking at the standings where I see it right now, this week is going to determine who's going to make playoffs. It's top 8. I don't see CLG making playoffs based off how badly they've been playing. I would honestly prefer to see either Dig or Immortals in the playoffs over CLG. I think we can all agree on that, right? But that's pretty much it. I mean, either Digger or Immortals over CLG. Anybody over CLG. If you get CLG in the first round of the playoffs, you are guaranteed moving to the next round. Now, ultimately, are these teams better in best of fives than they are in best of ones? You know, I have some friends who agree that best of ones are not that much different from best of fives. I disagree personally. I think best of fives are a completely different beast when it comes to best of one. That's just how I see it personally. You can disagree. I don't give a fuck. That's just my opinion. Now, let's look at some of these games. So, looking at some of these games, the ones I brought up because, you know, LCS quality, XD, Omega LOL, you know, it's just... Let's start off with the C9 game against Golden Guardians. So, let's go over this game. So, C9, obviously, in this game, takes Set, Trundle, Zoe, Aphelios, and Nautilus. Golden Guardians take Sion, Volibear, Syndra, Callista, and Morgana. Now, in this game, I don't actually think that C9 were making too many individual mistakes. You could probably say they made some laning mistakes overall. They were getting first blood. You know, Demonte was actually out-CSing Niski. He was playing pretty well on the Syndra. Niski is known for his excellent Zoe play. So it was actually really weird to see Niski playing so poorly. I mean, he's been the best mid laner pretty much all year. So, you know, it's bound that he's going to have a bad week eventually. But he's had a few questionable suspect weeks for, let's say, about 3 weeks. I'll say roughly about 3 weeks. So, you know, we had Golden Guardians forcing a lot, and then you had Closer stealing the Dragon. Now, let's kind of flash back to the original game that Golden Guardians played up against C9 earlier on in the split. Golden Guardians, to their credit, did have a gold lead. You know, they were kind of winning the game, though. They did also say that they, you know, played it really poorly, but, you know, nevertheless, it's not C9's fault that Golden Guardians fumbles a lead. Now, in this game, I want to get to a point where you could clearly tell something's off. So let me actually kind of go to this part of the game. So in this part of the game, right here, I actually fundamentally do not understand what the hell is going on here. So it was the attempted thing that Blabber was doing with the Rift Herald that really threw me off. So it's right when he says he drops the Rift Herald. So Blabber and Licorice tried to dive someone under the turret when the Rift Herald was going to take out most of it. And then they could have just taken the tower. Now I get that Golden Guardians were going to collapse on them, but that is just bad. Like, that's just bad. Actually, let me kind of slow it down for a little bit so I can show you guys what I'm accurately trying to show you, because it's going to be better if I can accurately show you what's going on here. So, look at them right now. Okay, so Blabber's dropping Rift Herald and Licorice is diving. That makes no sense. And then now they get collapsed on, and then now the team fight's over. There's nothing that they can do. They've already lost the fight. Now, this wasn't the obvious game-losing play for Cloud9, because later on in some of these team fights, they were getting picks, they were stealing dragons. It's just that Golden Guardians made some really good proactive plays, and then Demonte makes the game-winning play. Now, to be fair, you know, that's how these best-of-1 games are. And looking at the gold lead, basically up until about the second Baron, you could still say Cloud9 was in the game. So I'm still not really too sure what's going on with them. You know, like, they're making just really bad decisions. Now, some people have said, is it just for the sake of being aggressive, just to be aggressive? I mean, you could also apply to that too. Like in this fight right here, you see Sven just like shredding them. Like, why isn't Blabber getting in front of Sven, putting a pillar between, you know, Sven and his enemy opposition just so he survives? Like, Blabber just ultimately misplaced his pillar, and, you know, it makes sense why Reaper would give him Trundle, because he's not been playing well, actually thoroughly well, on the other champions. But Blabber just really should not be on a champion like Trundle, because his impact as a jungler would just be marginally less. I actually thought they were going to kill them in this position, actually. Haunter, being as tanky as he was a problem. So this game, I was like, fuck, they're actually playing kind of bad. But it's this TSM game that really threw me for a loop. I was like, holy shit. But after that, this is kind of like one of the games that didn't actually make me gouge my eyes out, because it's kind of hard to pick from these LCS games. I'm not even lying. I'm not trying to be that guy just to be that guy. But these LCS games, man, if you guys watch that FlyQuest versus 100 Thieves game, oh my actual lord. It was just, So, after Golden Guardians beat Cloud9, Steve tweeted on Twitter that they got first place. You know, like, some people were saying, oh yeah, you're being cocky, aren't you? Well, yeah, if you're playing up against CLG, you probably are going to be a bit cocky, aren't you? Because they're, I think, by consensus, the worst team in the league. You know, I think that Dig and Immortal's records don't show that, but Dig is actually a little bit better than CLG. Now, there was this play in the top lane where Ruin attempted to actually kill Impact. I think it was around, where was it actually? I'm trying to find it. Where, yeah, Ruin tried to kill Impact, and it just did not work out. Seeing Broxa, you know, actually be proactive, that was actually ridiculous. Oh my lord, that's just, good god. Yeah, Wiggly, that is just a massive facepalm right there. You know, CLG attempted to fight back at certain moments. There were these, like, long, you know, skirmish battles that they went through, but TL is just too far ahead at this point. I can understand why they were trying to do what they were trying to do, but it's not going to matter at the end of the day. And TL are now the, you know, quote-unquote best team in the LCS, and they're most likely getting first place. Now, given how this week goes, actually, we could see a fight for maybe first or second, but I'm pretty sure TL is locking up that first place spot, which is what nobody would have said, you know, coming into this split, actually. Alright, so the all-time best rivalry in the LCS, TSM versus Cloud9. This game wasn't really that bad, you know, based off of what I've seen. I know they're actually playing not that good, but it's not like most of these Cloud9 games are because they're getting stomped. It's because of they're getting leads but not translating it, which is not what you associate Cloud9 with. You associate them with getting leads and translating it. Now, we know for a damn clear fact Blabber is better than Spica. Spica is just kind of like, well, yikes, not good. I don't think that Spica's the whole TSM jungler meme thing. I think Spica's just not that good, but that's just a discussion for another day. So, looking at this right here, Niski was pushing Bjergsen in. Some pretty good stuff overall. I think that Treats has been an overall big portion as to the reason why TSM has gotten better. You know, I like Biofrost. I think Biofrost is an okay player, but I think that Treats is offering something different, a new voice to the team. You know, it was always kind of said that Biofrost isn't much of a talker, but, you know, I think that giving ideas out in a team and talking is better than no talking at all, if you can understand what I'm saying. Because if you're not saying anything, then you're not, I personally feel you're not really contributing, you know, because you're not really adding anything. You're just kind of assuming that there's going to be this leader voice that's going to do it for you. Now, TSM take Aurelia, Set, Twisted Fate, Caitlyn, and Morgana. C9 take Kennen, Volibear, Azir, Ashe, and Karma. So, Broken Blade was doing very well in the 1v1. Early on, you don't really notice it, but Licorice is having a decently, you know, kind of hard few past weeks from what I've actually noticed. You saw right there where Licorice got too close, and then he had to blow his flash early on, which causes the lane to push towards Broken Blade, and then after that, he's going to lose lane priority because the wave is going to currently just always bounce back into Broken Blade. When you give up flash like that as a ranged champion against someone who's more melee, once they get that perfect trade off onto you, you do not really have priority in the lane anymore. The goal of being Kennen versus Aurelia is that you just obviously outform Aurelia, you're long range, you can CS from a distance. Him getting too close like that means he blows his flash, and the wave is perfectly positioned for Broken Blade, and if he all-ins again, he knows he can kill him. Now, the issue here is Blabber being on Volibear is not that bad. Volibear is just a disgusting champion. Now, C9 getting these little early leads here on out is actually not that bad. Like, they're not playing, like, people don't have to understand this. They're not playing completely shitty. You know, they're playing bad, but it's something that you can work on, you know? But credit to TSM, they played really well this game. They played pretty well. They're actually peaking at the right moment. This is where the game went to complete literal shit. TSM wins a team fight, and then Broken Blade's on Aurelia, and at that point, you got a Baron, and then you just win the game. It's kind of weird having TSM play fast, because credit to TSM, they have had some pretty fast games for the past couple of weeks. They've actually had one of the fastest average game times they've actually had in a very, very long time. So I'm actually glad they're working on things, and I'm actually glad that it's paying off for them. But yeah, double upping on Caitlyn and Morg is just disgusting if you're ahead. Literally, Caitlyn pokes you, Morg binds you, literal insta-death. So yeah, that's it for the LCS Week 8. LCS Week 8 2020 Summer Split Thoughts and Opinions. Hopefully Cloud9 can bounce back from their slump. Let me see the games they actually have this week coming up. They face Dig, so, you know, easy. It should be an easy win there. And they play up against CLG. So, realistically, if they want to gain some confidence back, you should be going 2-0 in this week. With this 2-0 week, I think their confidence is, you know, up there. And then it all depends on, you know, how the other matches play out, you know, for TSM and Team Liquid. You have the match of the week in Team Liquid versus TSM. Then you also have, you know, basically fighting for the playoff spot in first or second. So you're hoping that IMT beats TL if you're a TSM fan, and you're hoping that TSM can take down Team Liquid. You're hoping Liquid go 0-2, TSM and Cloud9 go 2-0, and then they can fight for first, if I'm actually not mistaken. So yeah, see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, and Way of Life Esports is signing out, guys. Peace. More content coming all the way, every day, all day. That was a horrible ending. Peace out, guys. Have a good day. Love you all.
Bye, you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.